Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 60. 60. I'm still amazed. Like, really? We've had 60 episodes? Like, what have I been talking about? What is there to talk about? And yet I can tell there's so much more. There's so much more that will be arriving and expanding and healing and moving in my life and the lives of everyone around me. So, 60. Yeah, we're at 60. We'll just keep going and see where we end up down the road. Yeah, it is Friday today. It's Friday. Whoa, what a week. What a month, what a year. It has just been one continuous expansion, contraction right into another. It feels like when a mother is birthing a baby and you're like, is the baby ever coming out? Will there ever be an end to the contractions and the waiting? There sort of is that sense, I feel, right now, collectively. Yeah, it feels like a planetary feeling, like, where the hell are we going? Like, what is happening? Is there even a baby? Are we even in a birth? Like, what is this? So today, here we are today. We started in Cincinnati with a weather report of dense fog. Dense, not just a little bit, dense. And when I was driving my son to school, it was really cool to see all these lights in the fog, but you couldn't see very far ahead. And I dropped him off and came home and then went for my morning run and took a few pictures of the fog while I was out. So I'll make that the image for today. But weather speaks to us, right? Nature, Earth is constantly giving us these messages. And when we pay attention, when we're listening, when we are present to the vibration of our own womb, our own incubator, which is Earth, this energy field that we sit inside, when we pay attention to those cues, there's always information for us. And so when I was meditating, I knew the fog meant something, because we don't get fog very often, not like we did today. And so I've been contemplating it this morning, and here's where I am in this moment, and we'll see how it all pulls together. A lot of times I'm puzzling through things for myself in this space, and somehow Source, Gaia, Earth, God, all the energies that work with us as souls in human bodies, they help me see how it all falls together, ties together, makes a weaving that I couldn't see before I started, recording and scribing in this space. So the words that feel relevant are lifting the veil. To me, there is this illusion that exists on our planet, which we all agreed to as souls when we came to be in human bodies. The illusion is believe what you see right in front of your eyes. Believe the density. Believe the stories. Believe the media. Believe the physical reality. Believe that what you see is what you get. What is right in front of you is what's true. With your eyes open, you can see everything. And what I know in every cell of my body, in every lifetime I've ever lived, in every breath I've ever taken, there's so much more than that. This 3D reality is simply one layer of what we can see. And when we are lifting the veil, when we are starting to pull back the layers, when we allow ourselves to see that there is illusion and maybe there's something behind the veil, always more is revealed. always. And so when I was picturing this fog, there's several examples we can play with. When I go for my run, I know the roads. I know where I'm going. And so I can, in my mind's eye, in my third eye, in the unseen memories, I can see what's going to be on the other side of the fog. So I know how far I'm going to run before I make a turn. Even if I can't see it through the fog, I know that's where I'm going. When I took the picture of the field, which I'll use as today's image, I've run up that hill and looked to the left at that field countless times. For years, I've looked at that field. I know exactly how big it is. I know where the deer usually stand. I know what the tree line is. I know how often he mows it. I know that field. And yet in the image, all you can see are the front trees and the fog. But I know what's back there. It's in my memory. It's in me. I have seen it enough times that I believe it to be true, even though my eyes are not able to see it in the moment. It's the same for us with memories, stories, past lives, with awarenesses about souls, about what happens after we die. We know these truths, and yet we can't always physically see them. And so we have this inner conflict. Is it true or is it not true? What do I believe? What do I not believe? If we're on roads that we are not familiar with, so for example, when there is dense fog on a highway, almost always there's some report about a 20-car pileup or an 80-car pileup or however many cars. When one in the front suddenly stops and the one coming behind that stopped car isn't aware that there's a stopped car there, then they hit that car, and then suddenly there are two cars that are stopped, and the third comes and hits, and there's a pileup because no one is expecting or predicting what's on the other side, and perhaps they're going too fast. Perhaps there's just too many cars on the highway. There's a million reasons why we can have a pileup. But in the unknown roads, we don't know what's on the other side, so we're guessing. The invitation to me when I was feeling and seeing the fog is the clear message of slow down. Slow down. Slow down the pace of our planet, slow down the pace of our lives, slow down our day, slow down our experience of simply being in the fog for a moment, and slow everything down. Because when we do that, we can turn up our other senses. So we can feel maybe someone else has fear in the car in front of us, and maybe they're going to slow down and stop. So I'll create a little more distance between me and the car in front of me. Or maybe I'll remember to turn my headlights on because I'm conscious that would let me see further, would let someone in front of or behind me see me. We start to maybe predict or think of things that we didn't have space or time to think of before when we were hurrying or rushing. It's this beautiful idea of time to contemplate, time to be with the unknown moment. If we're on a highway and we're going much slower than we normally would, and we can only see a little bit in front of us, and our senses are turning up in new ways, we might see a form of a car in front that if we'd been hurrying we would have missed, and then we can create some distance so we don't have a pileup. We might decide to pull off to the side of the road and wait out the fog a little while, or wait out the traffic for a little while and just listen to music and relax. When we pay attention to these cues from nature, from earth, and we create pauses or slower movement, there's room for all of our own self to awaken a little more, to start to pull the pieces together. That's exactly what I'm doing here in this moment, making this recording. I have all of these thoughts or nuggets that are sort of floating around me, and I close my eyes and I sit in this space and I pause and I breathe and I tune in. And I listen, I turn up my senses that receive these words. I turn up my ears. I turn up the feelings in my body so I can feel like, is my body relaxed? Is my body tense? Is there a feeling of urgency, which is what I feel right now, this urgency to get this message out? Like, slow down, everyone. Slow down, pause. Collectively, on our planet right now, we are in a time of so much truth coming out. Veils of illusion being lifted over and over and over. He said, she said, left side, right side, masculine, feminine. There is such upheaval, and the only clarity, the only truth that is real is our own interpretation of it. My feelings right here in this moment, sitting in my body, discerning what is my truth, what do I believe when I look at all that is happening around me. What do I know I can sit in the quiet space with and be absolutely at peace in my body, in my soul, with what I know? No doubts, no fears, just my truth. My truth is very different than someone else's truth. But if all I'm doing is staying super busy and tuning into everyone else's beliefs or truths or stories or the media or everything that's being thrown at me, and I don't have that quiet space to feel my own knowing, it's so easy to get caught up in all of it, to believe all the illusion, to have our physical eyes go, well, that's what I see, that's the image, that's the word, that's the story, this is my truth. When we slow down and we pause and we sit in these quiet pockets, these quiet moments, we claim them for ourselves, and then we sit in them. Maybe with some guidance like I'm offering right now, like bring your energy in, bring it all the way down to your feet. Close your feet so you can hold your energy in your body, and then feel what is happening in your body. If there's turmoil, breathe it out. If there's questions, sit in the quiet and ponder the questions until you know your answer. If you are visual with your eyes closed, your physical eyes closed, turn up your third eye, turn up your inner knowing. Imagine you can see the veil of illusion in front of you. You can see the fog, and you can just slowly move layers of fog to the side and ask your questions. Do your contemplation. What are the things that you specifically are moving through in your life, in your journey right now? Let them take on an image in your mind, and then lift the veil, move the veil until you are absolutely clear about what you know. Your truth. Your truth. And you don't have to share your truth if you don't want to, but at least you know it. You have it in you. And that's where this world changes. When we sit in our truth and we know we're watching or seeing someone speak their truth, there's an alignment that starts to get formed. There's a healing that starts to happen because we are witnessing and co-creating greater truth. We are moving the veil, lifting the veil more and more to the side so that more and more people are in their truth and then begin expressing their truth, and soon all the bullshit's gone. Doesn't that feel incredible? Like we could co-create a world with no lies, where everyone is simply expressing their truth in all of the wide variety of what our unique truth looks like to us. Whoa, that feels exciting. That's something I could buy into. And it begins with each one of us. So just like me, claim a few minutes, a pocket of time, and sit still, tune in, clear some of the illusion, and get centered and know your truth. So perhaps this weekend, that's something you can claim for yourself. It's an experience you can create for yourself, and then you can share it with someone else and invite them to do it for themselves. And suddenly we have a movement where everyone is taking pauses, slowing down to contemplate and find his or her own truth. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Thank you for tuning in to today's vibration. Let's take this message of pure love out into all of our communities and continue expanding love here on Gaia. So much love from my heart to yours.